everyone! Welcome to another episode of A Deadly Dose of Diva. And for you today is our belated Thanksgiving show. And the turkey will be here soon. We don't know when the butler's going to bring it. Get it all nice and set up.
How was your Thanksgiving, Clarice?
What have you got there, Hannibal?
Hello? I've come and brought you some tasty morsels.
A nice juicy heart and some brains.
I figure you could eat that with your nice Chianti.
How was your Thanksgiving?
She was tasty.
Oh.
Well, you have such a lovely little set here. I especially love the children. Oh,
Leave my children alone. They're
Bloody.
mine.
I thought I would pay you a nice visit and bring you a nice little snack, since this is your chosen food. We do have quite lovely taste, don't we?
We do. So, I went away for Thanksgiving and seen some family. What did you do?
I just ate.
I see what you did.
I just ate.
Did you have some lamb?
Yeah, that's what her name was. Yeah.
Mary had a little lamb?
Mary did have a little lamb, and now it's in my belly.
Well, after Thanksgiving was over, guess where I went?
Well,
Mr. Nimerman and I, we went to Michigan.
why did you go to Michigan
We went
for?
to Michigan to be on the Mad World Radio show.
I know them.
You do? Mr. and Mrs. Odd? Having issues here. Won't stay on.
Sorry, I'm fresh out of safety business.
Oh, yeah, I should have got one of those. We were on the Mad World Radio show for 3 hours the day after Thanksgiving.
Uncanny.
There was a lot of good talk on there. And Mrs. Odd made us some soup.
Soup.
Eat your soup.
Eat your soup.
Eat your soup. Oh, recently we have started a Diva fan club.
Really?
Anyone who wants to join can go to my Facebook and send me a message, and I will let them know what they need to do.
Whatever is inside your glass is smoking.
It's warm blood.
Ooh.
Just your flavor, hey?
AB or positive?
Negative. Ha! No, my girls look lovely today. Got a little spot of blood on the nose. Anyway. Oh. Also, I have here. Whew, let's pull one of the legs out here. Let's
Maybe
try
I
this.
should. Maybe later I should warm them up.
And how will you do that?
Very slowly.
Anyone who wants to have a somewhat, what do I want to say? Get off there. What's this? I have made a few things for Diva. Keychain. You can also, this doesn't have a picture in it yet, but it's a magnet. Whoop, see? That falls apart. No, it doesn't. I just took the
Super
cover off.
glue can be purchased later.
Yeah. A magnetic refrigerator thing that I can either put a picture and or some Diva flesh.
Yummy.
Yes.
I must
And
definitely
also,
be
I
ordering one
haven't-
of those, would I?
Been kind of busy with Thanksgiving and all. I haven't finished anything, but the snow globe will have some gory diva things inside. And a diva Christmas ornament.
'Tis the season.
Autographed with flesh and picture. Contact
Tantalizes my taste buds, don't you agree?
Don't you just love my pickled baby over here?
It reminds me of a jar I once seen with a face inside.
Yes, you did.
It
It's
looked-
inside of a car.
It was very decorative, I must say.
It was inside of a car. Anyway, what else do we want to talk? Oh, we've seen a few good movies lately.
By the way, before you get into it, Agent Starling said hello.
Hello.
Unfortunately, she cannot make it here because she's, well, trying to find me, and she cannot find me at this point in time.
You got away.
It's all right, Agent Starling. I am keeping company with our fair diva. I will be home very, very soon. Sorry.
Sometimes I get carried away.
You get a little into your work, do you?
Just a tad.
Ah, I know how it feels. Oh, I feel a little.
I can't get my tongue out of my mouth. There's a reason these are here for.
As you bite too, huh?
But if you undo my straps, I'll show you the whole new meaning of the word kiss me.
Oh. A little nibble here and there.
But anyways, I'm sorry I interrupted you.
You have interrupted our dinner, you know. I do thank you for bringing us some food. I was waiting on the butler to bring us the turkey, but this is way better.
Well, I understand that the butler was derelict in his duties.
Yeah.
And by the way, that is the butler.
Works for me.
That's for me too.
This is hot.
That is hot. I caught that out especially for you, my dear.
Yeah. Nice.
It's nice and squishy and gooey, just the way you
Those
like
veins are sticking out. Ugh. I like it. Anyway, we've seen some good movies.
it. You have?
I like the movie The Beaver. The Beaver is about, Mel Gibson is in it. He plays as a depressed man who is on the verge of losing control and...
I have that feeling sometimes.
Do you?
Yes. But I make up for it by playing with jigsaw puzzles.
I bet that's what you play with.
Funny diva.
Funny diva. Anyway, the Beaver is Mel Gibson plays as a severely depressed man, and his marriage is, I don't know, you've escaped a little bit there.
You can't give a good
You
psycho
have to make
now.
sure the rest of that's going to stay closed once you get out of there.
Sure you will.
You play a little bit of magic with escaping and things.
Now you see me, now you don't, Clarice.
Yeah.
Anyway, the Beaver.
The Beaver. Yes. His marriage is suffering, and he's going to go get himself an apartment. He takes all of his things, and he's throwing a bunch of things in the dumpster. He happens to see a beaver laying in there, and he kind of pauses and looks at it for a minute, and he walks away from the dumpster. He turns back around, he goes back over there, and he decides to snatch up the beaver. Puts it in the car with him, drives up, gets into his hotel or apartment, whatever it is that he's living in the meantime, and just all of a sudden the beaver starts talking to him with a bit of an accent. And from then on, every time he wants to speak, the beaver speaks with a hand puppet.
Sounds like he has issues.
But he does have issues, but he resolves his issues, and the movie actually makes you cry. It's a bit sad in parts of it.
Boo-hoo, Clarice. Boo-hoo.
Behave yourself or you're leaving.
Reflexes.
know.
Yeah.
I like to beat you with that bone.
If your so-called character would like to strip children down and wear their skins, he would be known as Buffalo Beaver. I made it funny, Clarice.
You did. Buffalo Beaver. It wouldn't take much skin. All he would need is a small child.
You know what you are with your fancy sash and your cheap shoes. You're nothing more than a dead corpse, ready to be eaten.
But I'm pretty.
That you are, my dear. That you are.
I'm still tasty, too.
Might I have a bite later?
Ooh. Turn the cameras off for that one. Yeah.
As you were saying, my dear.
What was I saying?
I don't
Oh,
know.
The Beaver. It's a great
Beaver.
movie. Loved it. It's a recommended movie.
The other day we watched Hangover 2. That's a lot like the first one, but the circumstances are the same, but the things that happen are way different.
I understand that one of the characters had their finger severed.
Yes, he did. He was doing a little thing, doing the knife through the fingers, and he missed. Or
Oh,
shall
yeah.
we say he didn't miss.
Every now and then a finger must fall.
We just told one of the specifics of the movie and
Who gives
spoiled it. Because through the
Who-
whole movie they want to find out where the finger is.
Who gives a damn?
Spoiler! Also, there is a scene in the movie that people should not let their children see.
So
There's
that
full
is-
front. It's where they figure out that they have gone to a strip club. So they go revisit the strip club. When they revisit the strip club, and they find out that
This woman wasn't what they thought she was.
this woman was not all woman.
Another form of Buffalo Bill.
Yeah, there we
In a weird
go.
way. Yeah.
And this woman makes a comment and says that's why they call it Bangkok. Now. Yes. But the movie does show full frontal nudity, so on males, so yeah.
And this gentleman is.
That's Johnny. He's my groundskeeper.
Like he should have been packed in Tupperware.
He's a little spoiled. He's got maggots coming out of his face. He's my kind of guy.
Nothing says loving like something from the grave, eh, Clary?
Yeah. Ooh. A little bit of brains on the floor. One of my children made a mess.
Quid pro quo, Miss Diva. Quid pro quo. I don't know what the hell it means.
I've seen a fun movie.
Do tell. Goodbye, horses. Oh. Ooh,
Oh, it's my Dead Time Rose.
how lovely a rose can be.
My Nightmare Man got it for me in hell.
Who?
Nightmare Man.
Who in the hell is he?
He's my fiancé.
Nightmare Man, Nightmare. Oh yes, that's the gentleman that wears funky sweaters and horns in his face, and he runs around acting like a mentally challenged person. I do quite fond of him. I think he's adorable.
Oh, please. Adorable schmorble. I'm adorable.
He does have interesting tools he carries with him, isn't it? Claws
does.
and gloves.
Those would help you with your carvings.
I might have him over for supper sometime.
I think I'll just keep him at home. He's not allowed to visit you.
Well, actually, I don't know if I would decide if I want to try to attempt to eat him, because the way he looks, he might eat me.
He is a demon.
Nevertheless, he is a charming fellow, and I wish you both the happiness in all your endeavors.
Okay. Fun movie. Guess what?
What, Clarice?
Don't look at me like you're going to take a bite. No, we seen a
Well, it
movie
looks mighty good to me, because Diva rolls is all I see.
Guess what? I seen Mr. Popper's Penguins. I am grown up, but I will never grow up. I love the movie. If you ever watch the movie with me, guess what? You will need earplugs because I laughed my ass off through that movie. It's funny, and there's little baby penguins in it too.
You have a breastfeed. Toughened your nipples.
That was a bit off key.
Toughened your nipples, didn't it? Come on, Mom. I heard you're random, so am I.
I say. But anyway, it's a great movie. This single dad is his dad dies, and his dad sends him something as a gift right before he dies, and the gift is a penguin. And he tries to call the dude and tell him, hey, dude, send these penguins back. And the connection was bad, and he was on a cell phone, and all the guy on the other end of the line heard was, send penguin. And so he sent 7 or 8 more penguins, and it's hilarious. I loved it.
Have you ever seen a severed head up close?
There's a bit of brains in there. Still warm. Would you like something to eat?
I would love something to eat, Larry.
You can't.
Oh. I'll get something later. I wouldn't want you to deprive you of your dinner.
I've made a mess.
So tell me, before you became a zombie, exactly who was it that bit you, that transformed you into the creature I see now?
A zombie.
You didn't get his name? It was probably this bastard back here. It was you, wasn't it? I seen him wink.
The brown scene.
Mesmerizing at that.
Bad diva.
Well, remember, was Newton trying to tell us that being
Look.
bad is more fun than being good?
Watch.
I know they're mesmerizing. I can't keep my eyes off of them.
Bouncy bloody there, say that 10 times. Bouncy bloody boobies.
Just remember one thing, my dear Diva. Once I'm eating you, I can always have something to drink with my meal.
Very true, very true. Blood. Would you like to stay for some story time?
I would be honored to.
First, I gotta send out some Diva hugs to all of my friends and family. Like, I'm not going to narrow it down to certain people because it's Thanksgiving. Diva hugs to everyone. Would you like a hug?
Come here, baby.
Not too close, that's all you get.
You smell like paprika.
That's all you get. You want a bone to chew on? You can have a bone to chew on.
And I have a bone to pick with you.
Oh. Story time. Time for a story, time for a story. You will be quiet. The last gentleman that came on my show was not quiet for story time.
I'll try to keep all my wits about me.
Too late for that. How'd you get in that straitjacket? What'd you do?
I was a bad boy.
Or so was you a good boy? Some people's eyes.
I'll never tell, at least when the sun's still shining.
I like my sparkly bookmarker. Potty girl, it says.
She's starting to thaw. A bit of sweat on the jar. What?
Your story.
Wow, I told you to be quiet and you did. Miracles do happen. The White Wolf.
Not to be confused with the black one. Sorry.
Can't whistle through that.
You can't whistle on this thing.
Your voice kind of changed there, Hannibal. You can't whistle in? Suck in instead of blow out.
Suck in and blow out.
See? Could you turn your tongue sideways to stick it out? You did!
Get a story, please.
The White Wolf. The timber wolves around French Creek. I'm not good with words today.
I'm not translating that.
Okay, try this again. The timber wolves around French Creek had gotten out of hand. You know how that feels, don't you? There were so many wolves that the farmer could not stop them from killing their cattle and sheep. Sheep?
May I ask you a
Cattle like
question?
a lamb.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but your light over there is moving by itself. Why is that?
It seems our ghost is here. We have a spirit that lives here. And that's kind of funny. One is moving and the other one isn't.
Nice.
There's two umbrella lights on tripods, and they're both standing beside each other, but only one is moving.
I just happened to notice that. Now it's really moving. There can't be no draft because the wind is not blowing today.
And if there was a draft, they would both be moving. That does seem very odd, doesn't it? Back to the story. That's strange. The ghost has never visited my show before. Seems I have more than one unexpected visitor.
It's a surprise guest star. You just don't know his name.
I think it's Nightmare Man's dad. Because the ghost is always around when he's around. It's even traveled with us. The ghost has gone away with us. We went to a friend's house in southern Ohio, and while we were there, I caught the ghost on video. Orbs flying around. Always around him, never around anyone else. I can do that too. But I can bounce and you can't. You can bounce when nothing shakes. Mine does. Stop it. Ow. So the state put a boundary on the cattle and the sheep. It would pay a hunter $10 for every wolf they put in. A butcher in town named Bill Williams
Ha!
thought that it was pretty good money. So he stopped working as a butcher and started killing wolves.
Let him try to get a hold of Larry one time, and he would have his tune changed.
Oh yes,
awful
Big
quick.
Larry would be a wolf to be reckoned with. Darn thing, get up there. Dress is falling off, my sash is falling off. Falling apart here. Got holes in my dress. So he stopped working as a butcher and started killing wolves. He was good at it. Every year he killed over 500 of them. That came to more than $5,000. It was quite a bit of money in those days. It doesn't say what days it is.
of the dead.
That's a great convention. I'll be there.
I
March
will.
in Atlanta.
I will too.
Is it March 6, 7, and 8, or
11, 12, 13.
Yes, there you go. I'm getting the 6, 7, and 8 confused because in July.
7, 8, 9.
Yes, it did. And in
Anyway.
July, I will be getting married at the same Days of the Dead convention, just in Indianapolis instead. Nightmare Man is yet to give me a ring. I'm still waiting. Maybe for Christmas. I don't know. Yes. After 4 or 5 years, Bill had killed so many wolves that there were hardly any left in that area. So he retired, and he vowed never to harm another wolf because wolves had made him rich. Then one day, a farmer reported that a white wolf had killed 2 of his sheep. He had shot it and hit it, but the bullet did not have any effect on him. Soon that wolf was seen all over the countryside, killing and running, but nobody could stop it. One night, it came into Bill's yard, and it killed his pet cow. Pet cow?
Pet cow. Pet cow? Seriously? Who has a pet cow? Sorry, Bessie. The wolf is coming to get you. What? Who has a
You
pet
and
cow?
your stories.
I don't understand. Who has a pet cow? That strikes me.
Yeah,
A cat,
moo, moo,
a
moo,
dog,
moo,
a
moo,
hamster, a gerbil, a guinea pig.
Here, moo, 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 moo,
Some people
moo.
even have pigs as pets and have them in their house, potbelly pigs. But a cow?
Lovely.
Who can love on a... I mean, how would you snuggle up with a cow and nurture them? A cow is good for 2 things. Milk and food. Other than that, what does it do? Because I think they're pretty funny looking. Back to the story. He's a retired butcher, and he has a pet cow. What kind of sense does that make?
Some type of group therapy, perhaps. I don't know.
Maybe that's how he keeps from being a butcher, by having the temptation. I don't know. No Thanksgiving for you. I am not taking that thing off your face. Pet cow. Okay, where's that? Killed his pet cow. Bill forgot about his decision never to harm another wolf. He went into town the next morning and bought a young lamb for bait. You hear what he's
Good
doing
choice
now?
of bait.
This is perfect. You came in on a good show. He took it out into the hills and he tied it to a tree. That reminds me of Jurassic Park, how they tied the baby goat to the tree to try to get the raptors to come out and have a snack in front of the people. But the raptors had other ideas. Then he backed off about 50 yards and sat down under another tree. With his gun in his lap, he waited. When Bill didn't come back, his friends started looking for him. Finally, they found the lamb. It was still tied to the tree, and it was hungry, but it was alive. Then they found Bill, but he was dead.
Dead.
His throat had been torn open. Maybe Larry did get a hold of him. But there was no sign of a struggle. His gun hadn't been fired, and there were no tracks in the soil around him. As for the white wolf, it was never seen again.
The end.
Yeah.
Lovely story. Well, all good things must come to
What
an
happened
end.
to the wolf?
Huh?
What happened to the wolf?
I don't know.
How did Larry get killed? Or Larry. Bill. I'm like, you said Larry.
Bill was the wolf.
Then how did his throat get torn open?
Special effects.
I.
And now, another story. Wait a minute, this one's a little long. Let's see. It's not too bad. The Haunted House. It's still moving. Huh.
Make
One
this story
time.
quick because I have to pee, Clarice.
How are you going to do that with one hand? Oh, it takes one hand. I'm not helping you with that either. One time a preacher went to see if he could put a haunt to rest at a house in his settlement. The house had been haunted for over 10 years. Several people had tried to stay there all night, but they were always scared and left. So this preacher took his Bible and he went to the house and he went on in. He built himself a good fire. And he lit a lamp so he could sit there and read his Bible. What are you doing over there?
Read.
Then just before midnight, he heard something start up in the cellar. He walked back and forth and he walked back and forth, and then it sounded like somebody was trying to scream and got choked off. Then there was a lot of thrashing around and struggling, and finally, everything got quiet. The old preacher took up his Bible again, but before he could start reading, he heard footsteps coming up the cellar stairs. He sat, watching the door to the cellar, and the footsteps kept coming closer and closer. He saw the doorknob turn. When the door began to open, he jumped up and hollered, "What do you want?" What do you want?
You know what I want.
What do you want?
I want a window where a tree I can see. The nice fresh air.
You don't like the lights?
I don't get that where I'm at.
The door shut back easily, and there wasn't sound. Somebody messed up on the writing of this thing. The preacher was trembling a little, but finally he opened the Bible and he started to read. Then he got up and laid the book on the chair and he went to mending the fire. Then the haunt started walking. The haunt started walking again, step by step, up the cellar stairs. The old preacher sat, watching the door, saw a doorknob turn again, and the door opened again. Stop it! It looked like a young woman. He backed up and said, "Who are you, and what do you want?" She looks nice.
Pretty.
She looks kind of like the girl in the ring. The haunt sort of swayed, like she didn't know what to do, and then she just faded away. The old preacher waited and waited, and he didn't hear any further noises. He went over to shut the door. He was sweating and trembling. Stop it, all over, but he was a brave man, and he thought he'd be able to see it through. So he turned his chair to where he could watch, and he sat down and he waited. And it wasn't long before he heard the haunt start up again, slowly, step, 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 closer and closer, until it was right at the door. The preacher stood up and he held his Bible out before him. Then the knob turned slowly and the door opened wide. This time the preacher spoke quiet-like, and he said, "In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, who are you and what do you want?" The haunt came right across the room, straight to him, and it took a hold of his coat. It was a young woman, about 20 years old. Her hair was torn and tangled, and the flesh was dropping off her face, and he could see the bones and part of her teeth. She had no eyeballs, but there was a sort of blue light way back in her eye sockets. and she had no nose on her face. That sounds like Voldemort. No nose. Then she started talking. It sounded like her voice was coming and going with the wind as it was blowing. She told how her lover had killed her for money and buried her in the cellar. She said that if the preacher would dig up her bones and bury her properly, then she could rest. Then she told him to take the end joint of the little finger from her left hand and lay it in the collection plate the next morning at the church meeting, and he would find out who had murdered her. And he said, if you come back here once more after that, you will hear my voice at midnight, and I will let you know where my money is hid, and you can give it to the church. This is a good one for Thanksgiving.
Excellent.
The haunt sobbed like she was tired, and she sunk down towards the floor and then was gone. The preacher found her bones and buried them in the graveyard. The next Sunday, the preacher put the finger in the collection plate, and when a certain man happened to touch it, it stuck to his hand. The man jumped up and rubbed it and scraped it and tore at the bone, trying to get it off of his hand. Then he started screaming like he was going crazy, and when he confessed to the murder, they took him to jail. After the man was hung, the preacher went back to the house at midnight, and the haunt's voice told him to dig underneath the heart rock. He did, and he found a big sack of money, and where the haunt had held on to his coat, the print of those bony fingers was buried right into the cloth, and it never did come out. The end. Those were great stories for you being around.
Lovely.
Not even planned.
Scrumptious.
Oh, I have a star on here. That's weird. The star from my sky is on my book. I did not put it there.
Make a wish, Clarice. I must be leaving now before they discover that I'm gone. The body I replaced.
It's time for food.
It is time for food.
Do you want a bite? You tried.
I'll save room for dessert later.
Hanibal Lector.
Later, I'm having an old friend for dinner.
Me?
I'll save you for dessert.
Ooh. Pudding.
Oh.
Bad diva. What?
Are you going to wrap up the show, or are you going to stand and look at me?
You said you were leaving. I didn't know if I should eat in front of you or if I should wait until you're gone. Since you can't eat.
Bon appetit.
Oh, I forgot I would have it hot. Kind of tough. Oh, I'm making a mess.
You should have worn a napkin.
Let's have a napkin. Oh. I'm making a mess everywhere. Until next time. Stay tasty, my little morsels.
Stay clean.